Today's success story is about the N-600. It is something that is fairly rare, surprisingly, but it is something so important. The N-600, similar to the N-400, allows somebody just directly become a citizen. Now, N-600 are for children. So N-400 is if you're in the US, been here for 3 years, 5 years, you apply for citizenship as a green card holder, right? It's the next step up from a green card holder, you apply, become a citizen. But what if your parents are already citizen and the child is only a green card holder? Well, in that instance, the child could just apply for an N-600 and get the case approved. So this case was a really special one because the mother applied for the N-600 on her own, but realized it was going to get denied. There were so many things that's wrong with it. The mother already tried to apply for the passport, I think twice. Both times got denied. Applied for the N-600, filled out the entire application wrong. And not just like one area that's wrong, like 20 errors, right? And some very big ones. The mother had physical presence issues. The mother had whether or not she was married to the biological father, which she wasn't.
I think one of the questions was like on the form, it asked, is a child in physical and legal custody?
Right.
And which is like, you have to have it in order to qualify. And then the mother said no.
Yeah.
So that was like one thing. So it wasn't just these very like minor typographical mistakes. It
Right.
was these big things that would for sure lead to denial.
Right. And so I don't know how she figured out that her case was going to get denied, but she figured it out. She contacted our office, and then Rebecca was working on the case and sat down with this grandmother essentially and reviewed this whole thing. And we said, okay, you have two options: withdraw the case and file a new one, or because the case didn't get a request for evidence yet, we could wait for the request for and then answer it, or just, I guess, respond to it accordingly. There's three options. There's no right answer, right? We've been to ALA conferences. We know the different speakers. We know the different people who work on N-600. We work on a lot of N-600. There's no definitive right way. If you withdraw the case, it's in the record. It might look bad. If you wait for a request for evidence, you might never get one. It might just directly get denied. And the unique thing about N-600 is if it gets denied, you can't file it again. You have to do a motion to reopen. And then it becomes an indefinite problem, right? It could be a 6-month or it could be a 6-year processing for N-600. So it's complicated, convoluted, and you just have to make your choice and stick with it. The decision we made was to preemptively file an update for this N-600. We attached our G28. We explained every single error that happened on the prior application, essentially redoing it and explaining everything and getting the legal custody, right? Because again, the mother and the father weren't together anymore. It was born out of wedlock. And there wasn't official documents to show that she has like the full custody. So getting the father to get that document written out, notarized, authenticated, sent over. We explained all the discrepancies, her annulment with another marriage, the physical presence with the child. It was a very thorough and detailed process. Filed it, no request for evidence, just strict approval, no interview needed. Kid is going to the oath ceremony. We filed it in July of 2025. We just got the approval, I think, like last week, February 2026. The family is overjoyed. It was a complicated case, and mainly complicated because it was wrong and we have to correct it, right? And that is always makes things hard.
I think we gave about 15 to 20 exhibits. So like you mentioned, it was like not only saying why it was wrong, but showing supporting evidence.
Yeah.
They had an opinion letter by a Hong Kong attorney. And a lot of these times, like we don't know what's going to work. Sometimes we kind of we go above and beyond, I would say for sure. But it's really rewarding when we get the end result.
A lot of people try to do consular birth abroad. And they're just like, okay, I'm a US citizen. My child, they should be a US citizen. They try to do consular birth abroad. But because they didn't live in the United States for that long, they're expats, kind of like me, live overseas almost my whole life before coming to the US. If they don't live in the US enough, they cannot pass on their citizenship to their kids. And they just give up. And I'm like, don't give up. Do the normal immigration path, get them the green card, come to the US, and then apply for the N-600. And then the kid gets this in. It's just one extra step. Now, USCIS does clamp down on N-600s because they think there is a lot of fraud, just like following to join. It's things that, it's not the normal route. It's not like the I-130, I-140, and then all these background checks, and then interview. It's really just application documents. And it's like a lot of it's secondary documents, like pictures and stuff. You file it, you know, and suddenly you get a naturalization certificate and you become a citizen. That's pretty crazy. But this happens a lot, and I'm glad we were able to save this family.